Hello, welcome back to the Bite Size 15 of Tempusu Grand series. Today we are going to analyze the government cooling measures. There are so many cooling measures that the government has recently implemented in the past few years. So the question is, what is the effect to the property price whenever they effected the cooling measures? So in order to understand this, we have to sieve out big data analysis. So this is the question. Latest cooling measures by the government will cause the price to drop, and I will wait. Is this true? So in order to find out whether this should be the way we respond to cooling measures, let's dive deeper and take a look at the effect. So this is a long series since 1995 all the way to March 2023. So as you can see, it's up and down, down and up. So the very first cooling measures, which I call it the CM1, 8 December 2011. You recall then the ABSD1 was 3 plus 3%. Then followed by cooling measures number 2, where the ABSD increased from 3% to 7%. Remember, there's also a cooling measures number 3, when the TDSR, we call it the total debt service ratio, was being implemented. This is what we call the 60% TDSR. And interestingly, after this is being implemented, the price trend start to normalize and start to trend upward. That is when the government start to implement cooling measures number 4 on the 6th July 2018. And interestingly, this time around for the cooling measures number 4, the government actually increased the buyer's stamp duty as well for the first timer. So it becomes not 3 anymore. As you can see from the previous cooling measures, it has increased to a 4. And 4 plus 12, that is the cooling measures number 4. And fast forward a little, that is where the cooling measures number 5 being effected on the 16th December 2021. That is when it becomes 17, a 4 plus 17. And of course, the recent Valentine's, I call it the 14th of February 2023, they announced a cooling measures number 6 to be effected on the 15th February 2023. And that very cooling measures being the latest cooling measures, which is just 1 month ago. Today is March 2023. The government announced an increase of the buyer's stamp duty to 5 and 6, depending on the quantum of the property price. So let's us go deep into what is the effect. If you see this very interesting, easy to digest schematic chart, you realize cooling measures number 1 caused the price to go up, not down. How about cooling measures number 2? It's up again. The good news is whenever there's a cooling measures, the increase will be more moderate. The main purpose of the government is to cool the market, not crash the market. And government don't want to crash the market. They just want to make sure that when the property price increase, it must be sustainable. It must be in line with the GDP growth. And that is good. And we like cooling measures so that the price don't run up too fast. That's out of the fundamentals. What causes the price to come down is not the ABSD, it's actually the TDSR. But it is very short-lived, only for a short 3 years, where this TDSR1, which we call the 60%, resulted in a decrease of approximately 19.96%. But then it normalized and started to trend upward. So the insight shared with us, so long if you are a property long-term investor, the fundamentals of Singapore property purchase in the past few years remains at rock solid foundation. So as you see for the cooling measures number 4, it is up 17.85%. Cooling measures number 5, up another 18%. So if we were to allow ourselves to rewind back to cooling measures number 1, should we enter or should we wait? For someone who happened to wait in the 2011, wait and wait and wait and wait, you will realize the waiting game does have an opportunity cost. Because for someone who enter now, right, the property has already appreciated 8%, 5% is 13. So if you were to fast forward this whole cooling measures, it does appear from the statistic, cooling measures is to stabilize the market. And so long a purchaser buy for the long term, without speculations, the property price, the effect of the cooling measures is up and not down. So I hope this cooling measures insight will be useful for all of you so that you will start to see cooling measures very differently. So the question is, if you are the first timer and the cooling measures, yes, recently the cooling measures number 6 has implemented, would you be waiting or would you enter? And if the history repeats itself, it will show that this effect would likely still result in the price to go up, because the main purpose of the government is not to crash the market. And if the history repeats itself, yes, so long you buy prudently, should you go in or should you wait? You have the answer. If you don't let your emotion make decision for you, you let the cold hard data make the informed decision for you. And I hope you enjoyed today's bite-sized session on the effects and analysis of cooling measures. And I'll see you soon in the next bite-sized 16. Bye.